Swiss francs for the win. So the overall rankings in the women's tour, 35-13 to Kowalczyk. Majic has leapfrogged all the way from 7th up into 2nd place, just 44 seconds behind. And Ariana follows down in 8th. Therese Johaug, who got knocked out early, 1:42 behind. The gaps are starting to open up. What about Charlotte Kalla down in 7th, Mike, over a minute behind?
I'm a little surprised. It's really looking at who's fighting for 2nd place. Kowalczyk 44 seconds ahead. It's a huge margin.
Well, it's a long way to go. You've only got to have one bad day and your chances of winning the tour just evaporate. Well, before we move on to the men's, one last look at Petra Majic in style, heading home alone down the home straight, and the celebrations say it all.
Yeah, you are really amazing. I dedicate a little bit of this victory also to you. Thank you for everything that you came here, that you stay here for 3 hours in this kind of conditions and weather, and we are really grateful to you.
Thank you very much.
Well, generous words from Petra Majic.
Still the tour leader. Are you satisfied?
Yes, of course, I'm satisfied. I have 2 wins and 1 second place in tour. It's really good for me.
Do you like the course here in Oberstdorf?
Of course, it's really hard track, and I'm first time in the podium in my life in Oberstdorf that I like really much.
What do you feel on the last meters where you're fighting with Petra Majic?
I was really tired. After the second uphill, I was really tired and only fight on nothing more.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
Thank you.
Justyna Kowalczyk, 2nd place behind Petra Majic, and really, as to be said, she was blown away for the first time this season. But she had a hard day yesterday, winning the individual, did it alone, out front, had the guts to go for it, having picked up an advantage after day one. As she says, 2 wins, 1 second. You can't complain at that.
Not at all. I think Sandra was trying to get her to say, well, I feel bad that Petra blew me away by almost 5 seconds, but no, Kowalczyk's she's always very positive about her performance.
Yeah, and no word of her weak points, which were her technical downhill sections. So maybe a bit of thought needs to go on in the Polish training camp to make sure that that sort of mistake doesn't happen again. In the men's, well, it's all about Russia, Sweden, Canada, Norway with Simon Ostensen, and the Swiss. Dario Colonia has got himself through to the final. So just looking at the standings, Mike, I think it's almost guaranteed that Kershaw or Colonia are going to head the tour rankings at the end of the day. If Devon Kershaw can get his own back on Dario Colonia today, he might just be able to pull himself up into 1st place in the standings.
I think that is a real possibility, and I think Pechikov, their bib number 19, he's done well, qualified in 19th position 2.5 hours ago, but has now made it into the top 6.
60 bonus seconds for finishing 1st today. If you finish in 2nd place, you pick up 56. So if Kershaw wins, Dario Colonia only has to finish 2nd to ensure that he maintains his lead in the tour, but it would be cut down to 1 second going into day 4, which of course is tomorrow. And just in case you don't have the tour program in front of you, double pursuits tomorrow. The women going over 10 2x5 kilometers. The men, they get the short straw, 2x10 kilometers.
It's a big day for the men tomorrow. They did 15 yesterday. They did 3.75 the day before. These incredible sprints today, 4 times on maximum around this 1.2 kilometer. Those who've made this final, Patrick, they're going to be that little bit more fatigued than the rest of the field.
Certainly. If there's one good thing about getting knocked out early today, it means you're a little bit fresher for the pursuit tomorrow, and that might be going through Northug's mind at the moment. Number 8, Alexander Laikov. Alongside him, Alexei Pechikov, one of the best sprinters from the year so far. Lane 3, number 5, Simon Ostensen made the semi-final look very, very easy indeed, and having a much better tour than the last couple of years. Devon Kershaw lying second in the tour, could be a big day for him. He's never won a World Cup. He is in the best position of his life to do that, but he's got some mighty men to beat. One of them is Emil Jonsson of Sweden, and of course Dario Colonia. Tactically, the best skier out here.
He does, he's the all-rounder, isn't he? He played the last heat so comfortably, so tactically well, but it'll be different this time.
From 4 Russians, we're down to 2. We have 1 Swede, 1 Norwegian, 1 Canadian, and of course Switzerland's Dario Colonia on your screen at the moment. In the middle is Colonia. Jonsson, the fastest of the qualifiers, on the left-hand side of your screen, wearing bib number 1 in the white suit. Very fast start from Jonsson, but a couple of slips early on might have put him into a bad position. And 1, 2, 3, 4 little skating steps for, and Jonsson needs to watch out on that because the jury are out. Ostensen, he makes it look easy, Mike. He's a tall figure, very, very good glide on his skis, evidently, but a slightly slower tempo, which makes you think that he's not working.
It does. He makes that look easy each time, Ostensen, and we saw the dynamic finish he had last time, so he's got to be feeling good about his chances.
Yeah, Dario Colonia doesn't want to lead, just as he didn't yesterday. If you tuck him behind someone, you may get an advantage of 1%. Little bit of slipstream effect, not so much on the uphills, but certainly on the flat sections. So Ostensen leading. He wants the right hand or the second from right lane on the first climb, and he wants to get enough space so he can move over to the left for the second climb. And provided Colonia doesn't cut him off, he's in a very good position to do that. Jonsson leading, Ostensen in second, Kershaw for Canada third, Colonia for Switzerland 4, and the 2 Russians, Legkov and Pechikov, playing a very, very different game from the one we saw in the Olympic Games last year.
That is so, so true. And Devon Kershaw once again played it easy to begin with. He likes to take himself into the top 2 positions before the second major climb.
Looks as though Jonsson's building himself up for an early burst on the second climb. It's long, it's steep, it's very, very tough with that left-hand turn at the top. They've still got over 50 meters of climbing to go. Jonsson leading, Kershaw for the first time, starting to make a move on the left-hand side. Is he going to get Canada's first World Cup win since 1988 when Pierre Harvey won in Oslo? It's looking very, very good for Kershaw at the moment, and massive support from the rest of the Canadian team. Alex Harvey will be out there shouting on his teammate.
This is so impressed. Great for the Canadian team, and look, he's taken 5-6 meters out of Jonsson.
Well, that's a very good position indeed. Colonia has followed and followed all the way through. Colonia, a very good alpine skier, smooth as you like round that final corner. Now it's all about arm speed. We've got Kershaw with a lead of 4 meters, maybe 2 ski lengths over Emil Jonsson, who certainly ups the tempo early. Now Kershaw digs deep, looking for that victory that's just eluded him yesterday. Jonsson coming strong on the right-hand side. Colonia hasn't got anything left. Oh, it's Kershaw with 5 meters to hang on, but it's Jonsson with the power who's going to steal the victory. Photo finish for 1 and 2, but I think, well, Kershaw might have it. We have to wait and see. We're at a useless angle for judging, but Kershaw has given everything. Jonsson looking powerful down the last 50.
I think Jonsson got it. I think he got it by a toenail.
Well, we'll see. We'll no doubt see the effects. Great race for Dario Colonia, Mike. He didn't really have a way through on that final sprint, but remember, he is the leader of the World Cup. He's the leader of the Tour at the moment, unless Kershaw gets the win and Colonia finishes down in third. If Jonsson gets it, then Kershaw is going to stay in second place. Now, judge for yourself. You've got Jonsson in the white on the left. He makes the lunge first. I think Jonsson's probably got a toe ahead.
I think so.
He thinks so.
Yeah, what a race. And Devon Kershaw, just in the last 2 meters, he lost the momentum. He started jumping up on his skis to try and get more force down, but not when this man is chasing you.
So second yesterday for Devon Kershaw. It could be second again. What has he got to do to get a win? But I think what's really important, Mike, is that Kershaw has proved to himself that he has the potential to win World Cups. I think that expletive says it all. I think he's just a fraction of a second outside. Brilliant performance from Kershaw, but Emil Jonsson it is who has come out on top today with some fine sprinting performances, and Dario Colonia in third. Well, a bundle of World Cup points and a useful check for Emil Jonsson.
Well, Jonsson, he did it in Dusseldorf, he won the skate there, he did it in Davos, he won the classic 1.4 kilometre there, and he's done it again.
And if he wants to keep the points and the money, Mike, he's got to go all the way to the Alpe d'Huez.
He has to, and I think he will. It's going to be tough for him tomorrow for the 10 kilometres classic, followed immediately by continually by the 10 kilometre freestyle.
Would you like to take that bulk up the Alpe d'Huez, the final climb? It's going to be a real struggle.
After 10 days of this intensity.
Yeah, anything that Kershaw could have done.
He did everything right, I think, Patrick. I think he stood a little bit up too early over the final bridge. He could have got into the tuck position a little earlier, and then he stood up exiting the final straight a little earlier than the two chasing him. So he lost his momentum, and it gave them a chance to pull him back. Yeah, I think maybe also if it stayed in the tuck down the home straight just a little bit longer, yes, Jonsson might have closed on him, but he would have just had that little more power for the last 50. You only have so many double poles in your upper body at full power before you start to decelerate, just like sprinting. And if you time it to perfection, it's very, very difficult to be overtaken. Jonsson confirmed as the winner, 2:34.1, exactly the same time for Devon Kershaw, but second place, and that elusive World Cup win. We'll hope that he can get one before the end of the season. Colonia in third picks up good bonus points for finishing in third, 52 points in all. So he now, by my reckoning, has a lead of just 1 second in the Tour de Ski with 3 stages completed. In fact, 3.7 ahead of Kershaw. Better not to get there.
That will come down. That will come down to the qualifying time, Mike. The qualifying time, and Colonia was considerably quicker than Devon Kershaw this morning.
That's where those 3
seconds have come from. But still very, very close. Slightly bigger margins now between the top 20. 1.5 minutes between the top 15. It's still close. Long way to go. 5 races still remaining. Next one is tomorrow, and then they get a day off.
Finish. What did you felt on the last few meters?
Oh, it was really close. I felt that I have a little bit power left, so it just pushed everything. But when I was towards the finish line, I didn't know who's going to win. So it was a little bit scary moment there and see who I was won. But I was lucky today. I'm so happy that I was this millimeter ahead.
Did you expect Devon as your strongest contender?
I don't know. It's so many strong out there, so he's really, really good. So you can't count anyone out. He's one of the fast guys out there, so I'm not so surprised.
Thank you very much. Enjoy your day.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's great news for Emil Jonsson, not just because of the Tour de Ski, but also the Sprint World Cup standings. That's 3 wins out of 4 so far this season. Didn't win the first sprint, but he's won the last 2, and he's won again today. So a hat-trick of wins for Emil Jonsson by the smallest of margins, ahead of Canada's Devon Kershaw. And 5 nations in the top 5 places today. That's always satisfying and great news for the world of cross-country skiing. Well, let's have a look at the tour programme. The men's pursuit tomorrow, and they kick off at 12:30. That's local time, so 11:30 if you're watching in the UK. The women's pursuit a little later on in the afternoon. Day off on the 4th, and then they head to Dobiaco for another sprint, but this time in the freestyle. Jonsson's no slouch in that either, so he could be making it 4 wins out of 4. Dobiaco on the 6th of January for the longest race, the 35-kilometre for the men. We could see a few developments there. And then, of course, 6th, Dobiaco. The 8th is Val di Fiemme, the 20-kilometre classic mass start. That will be a tactical race before they wind themselves up for the final ascent, the Alpe d'Huez, on the last day, on the 9th of January. And, of course, Val di Fiemme hosting that one.
There's a lot of racing left in this Tour de Ski, and I'm just thinking, Lukas Bauer, just watching all these events today, I think he'll be quietly confident to try and pull some big margins back tomorrow.
Yeah, he certainly needs to, having missed out on qualification today. Petter Northug, well below par today, needs to put in a stormer tomorrow to get back on terms with the likes of Devon Kershaw of Canada and Dario Colonia of Switzerland. But today's winner, Emil Jonsson, can he possibly win the Tour as a specialist sprinter? I think it's unlikely, but you have to congratulate him because he's put in a storming run today. Well, that's all we got time for from Oberstdorf. We'll be back again tomorrow. Remember, it's the double pursuits for men and women.